Prada Luna Rossa Carbon in 2024. Here is everything you need to know with nothing more. There is nothing worse than when you have to hear about a fragrance reviewer's aunt's uncle's dog's friend. Absolutely ridiculous. I promise not to do that. Everything you need to know as quick as possible. And then you have Dior Sauvage EDP. These two are clones, so I'm going to let you know how accurate they are and which one you should get, and that is at the end of the video, so stay tuned. Now let's get right into this. Prada Luna Rossa Carbon, let's go. Okay, this is a super fresh and masculine fragrance. If you want to just front one fragrance, you're a beginner to fragrances, this is a great choice for you. One, because it's super versatile. Two, great for like getting attention and just smelling good. Now, I have not ever gotten compliments with this, but it's definitely something that could get compliments, and also affordable. Prada's official website, I think you can get a 100 milliliter bottle for like $110, and then a 50 milliliter bottle like this I got for 70 or 80 on discounters. You'd have to check again because they do fluctuate a little bit. So either way, the smell. The atomizer is great. You like when it has a nice big blast like that. Nice, it's not metal, but it is kind of a sturdy plastic. Definitely not a cheap design. Looks super good, super sleek. So how does it smell? So when you first spray this on, super big blast of bergamot, like super citrusy. It's a little bit bitter, it's a little bit tart. Now, it's never so much that it like makes your nose pucker and like your eyes water and like you're eating one of those sour candies, but it definitely does grab attention and kind of have its own unique kind of spice quote unquote. And then as you move into the mid, it doesn't really have like a cleanness like Dior Sauvage has. Rather, it's more of like a metallic, and it really keeps that masculine nature, but in a unique way. And then in the end, it's just all about Ambroxan. It's a super simple fragrance. This Ambroxan is warm, not as much as Dior Sauvage, but the best way to describe it is kind of a masculine deodorant in the best way possible. Just the overall idea is just very fresh and masculine based on citruses with Prada Luna Rossa Carbon. So the performance, 5 to 6 hours on the skin. I know some people are gonna be like, you need to put more sprays on. Yeah, I hear that literally every comment. So I usually put on about 3 sprays of this and I get 5 to 6 hours, and then the projection is usually like 1 to 2 feet for the first 1 to 2 hours, and then after that it is sitting pretty close to the skin. Definitely a very light scent, overall a moderate performer. So let's talk about the versatility of this. This is all seasons, all occasions. Occasions first. It is great for everything. Like, this is one fragrance that you can just pick up and just grab and go, and you're just gonna smell amazing. It smells super classy, but it's never so much that it's like naming your first kids on a date or just so intense like that. And then versatility or seasonality, I would say all seasons. It does lean more like spring or summer because it is very fresh and citrus based, but still super easy to wear all year round. Now, let's compare this fragrance to Dior Sauvage and see which one comes out on top. All right, how does Dior Sauvage compare? So the beginning's pretty much, they have the same citrusy start, but this is a lot more citric. And then in the middle, this has a very soapy nature that is considerably noticeable, whereas this is more like a metallic and a lot less noticeable. This just keeps going in that fresh direction. This gets cleaner and like a little bit soapier. And then in the end, this has a very thick warm Ambroxan, and this is more of a thin warm Ambroxan. It keeps more of a lighter, fresher nature, and this is a little bit, Dior Sauvage EDP is a little bit darker. As for performance, Dior Sauvage EDP any day, probably about a good 10 hours consistently, and the projection is always loud. You can walk, and the Sauvage is going to give you a nice 10 feet behind you, and this is the compliment king. I mean, what other would you wear Dior Sauvage EDP for? But Prada Luna Rossa Carbon does hold its own in that category, so don't worry too much about not getting or getting compliments when you wear either one of these fragrances. And then the price of this is about the same as Prada Luna Rossa Carbon. So in the end, I love this fragrance. I give it a solid 8 out of 10. It's definitely above average fragrances, but it's not the best that I've ever tried. So I do recommend this as your first fragrance. And if you're looking to stand out and wear something that is similar to Dior Sauvage but not Dior Sauvage and still get the same versatility and all the great factors about it, I definitely recommend this. But personally, I still do prefer Dior Sauvage EDP. Now, if you like this video, make sure to subscribe for more.